Welcome to the Billy Ho Forecast Show. Please subscribe and like the video. Remember, the more you share, the bigger we grow. Now, let's go! Hello, Billy Ho here. In today's show, we're going to cover the preview for the John Deere Classic. We're going to dive into TPC Deere Run, touch on some important scoring holes, talk a little skills needed to do well this week, talk a couple of players that might do well, and make sure you stay tuned toward the end of the video. Muy important. I got a couple of ideas this week that might lead to some good players, possibly a couple of little formulas I got in mind. So hopefully we'll get somebody maybe a little bit off the beaten path. Before we get started, I wanted to talk just a little bit of Travelers. As of this taping, the leaders are rolling. Xander's comfortable lead. Cantlay's off to a slow start. I went Xander and Showdown over Cantlay, so that's kind of working out, but Xander's not really producing that much. But fuck you, Big Rig Higgs, you fat. Well, I'm sorry. I shouldn't make fun of fat people. I shouldn't fat shame. But that large pants belt challenged guy screwed me over today in Showdown. That's one thing. But the other thing was week long. And I'm going to start doing this as a segment, I think, called the bad beat of the week. Like last week for me on the U.S. Open was Webb Simpson with that horrible par 5 scoring, the triple bogey, and then the bogey +4 on the par 5s. Well, introduce Mr. Cameron Tringale, who was basically -3 going into his last 3 holes. So he's one shot clear of the cut. Well, okay, he gives up bogey on the 7th hole. It was 7, 8, 9. So he gives up bogey, hit it in the, I believe, the bunker. So he makes a bogey there. And that, fine. But then the 8th hole, the par 3, he knocks it on the green 27 feet and then proceeds to 3-putt, missing a 3-foot putt for par. And now he's -1 outside the cut line. All hope is almost lost. Except for he hits a brilliant approach shot on 9 to 12 feet, but then he misses the putt. So, bad beat of the week. That is the world of DFS golf that we live in. Okay. John Deere Classic, TPC Deere Run. We are on another short track. And this one probably even a bigger birdie fest than Travelers. It is a par 71. There is a third par 5, so that right there leads me to believe. And also, I've got a list of some comp course combos for your models on the ticker tape. So take a look at that. And let's get into the course. TPC Deere Run, D.A. Weibring designed course located in Silvis, Illinois. Plays at a 7,268-yard par 71 track. The fairways are extra generous, pretty wide. The grass is bent in the fairways. The greens are also bent grass and run at an average of 5,500 square feet. And they run about 12 on the stimp, which is about their average. 4-inch rough is a mix of Kentucky bluegrass and fescue. Now, the first 6 holes are dog legs for the most part. The first hole is a short par 4 that you want to really make a birdie on. Dog leg left. Anything out in the fairway is going to leave you like a little lob wedge or a sand wedge, something like that, gap wedge. And it's a bunker guarded green, but that's an easy birdie hole. Hole number 2, absolute must birdie par 5. Downhill par 5, like I said, about anything in the fairway. Flips on the green light to get home in 2. It has one of the smaller greens and water to the left. I don't know if the water is exactly in play, but it is a factor if you hit a bad second shot. If you lay up, then you can have your wedge shot in just like any of the other par fours, and plenty of room to bail out to the right. So I'd say out of these first two holes, if you're not one under, at least you're losing a half a shot to a shot on the field. Next six holes are pretty straightforward, and these are like, I'd say, the more difficult, challenging type holes. There's a 500-yard par four ninth hole that you're going to gladly take a par. Bombers will have an advantage because a long tee shot will give you an easier approach. The final six holes are scoreable and are going to likely decide our tournament, obviously, home stretch. The 17th and 18th holes are interesting. Our 17th hole is a well-placed risk reward par five that with a big tee shot is going to allow you to get there in two. You can also lay up and have a relatively doable wedge, but it will take an accurate second shot once you get there too. You don't want to get in trouble. Off the tee, you're going to need to be in the fairway. It's a little tight down the chute, tree line, so there could be some tree trouble for you if you're just swinging away. Now, if you do give it a rip, you're hitting at a tiny T-bone shape. One of my favorite steaks. It's not ribeye, but a T-bone. I love me some T-bone. There is a bunker front right that's a good leave. Anything off to the side of the green is going to leave kind of a challenging chip shot because of the grown-up bent grass around the edge of the greens there. Hole 18 is a deserving finish to this John Deere Classic, as it is the second most difficult on the course. Finding the fairway is obviously a must, but I think the most critical part of this hole is your approach shot. Water to the left is a real threat to derail your whole week. And the bunkers guarding the green to the right are no picnic either, because if you land in them, then what are you doing? You're chipping out toward the water. But it's going to be a birdie fest, just like last week. It's going to be pushing 20 under, especially with the extra par five. So, rinse and repeat, skill sets, accuracy off the tee, and dialed in approach. Greens gain huge boost. And also he who putts wins the day. Now, you got to take advantage of those three par fives, obviously, and the high birdie percent par fours, obviously. Now, considering the TPC Deere Run has hosted the John Deere Classic for over 2 decades, I'm going to rely a hell of a lot on course history. I'm also going to be watching for guys playing well at the Travelers to translate them over to this week if they are indeed playing. A lot of people that are going to be in the British Open are going to skip the John Deere, but some that aren't will definitely be teeing it up. Your Chesson Hadleys, your Charles Howe III's, guys that are looking pretty good this week. Fest. So I'm going to be looking for guys hitting those clubs well. Now, this is a custom model that I drew up, parsed together from last year's John Deere and added in my own thing. So what we're looking at here is good drives, and those are the ones that no matter where you hit the ball, you find the green in regulation. I figure that's most important. That's going to contain a lot of accuracy. Then I just got general strokes gain approach. And this is the zone right here, 75 through 150. And I just sprinkled that because I'm not a big fan of the bucket thing. So I wanted to put that together. And this is the hint. This is where I was thinking that this might come in handy. Is what I'm going to do is maybe try and put together some sort of spreadsheet and average these three together and get like one single score from, say, 75 to 150, who hits the wedges. So, and you can just kind of dial through here. This is the rankings, Davis Riley. He's good at everything, but he doesn't seem to be real great at the proximity, in our zone here. But this, because the problem with the bucket system is like Alex Smalley, third from 100 to 125, but he's 100th from 125 to 150. Does that mean if he's 128 out, he's gonna be a shit show? But if he's 123 out, he's sticking it. It's kind of a flaw. But I think if we cobble them all together, we're going to lead ourselves to some sleepers. Now, particular players, I got also what I was going to do was the same thing with this is TPC Deere Run over the last 36 rounds. And you can see there's a lot of old school players here. Zach Johnson, he was in the tournament this week, but he wasn't particularly great. He didn't make the cut. He's just, I don't know, play him at your own risk. He did have like this massive 19 or 15 in a row cut streak a few years ago, I remember. And I said, well, no way he's missing the cut. What'd he do? Missed the cut. Ryan Moore actually might be showing some signs of life. I'm not 100% on him. Take a look, though. This is his jam, though, man. You can see he's at least 2 top 10 in these 2 categories. And, just a little shorter. I mean, you can average that out, and he's probably, if you place more emphasis on 100 to 150, he's probably top 15 in the field in the wedge range. Pretty good. He's probably going to be 7,400, I guess. Vaughn Taylor, obviously good with those wedges. Old man Stricker, kind of an old man now. He was a clutch cut-making fool, but he's kind of a few years past that. Lucas Glover is last year's champion. He made the cut, but he didn't really look good this weekend. And then we've got the Asses, the Shanks, the Svensons, I believe the Smotherman, Hadwin's another one, Berger. I'm going to be looking at all these guys. I wrote a list out. Streelman, obviously. Todd. I think Todd bounces back this week. Hopefully people will be off of him and pissed off that he missed the cut. CH3, obviously, I think he'll be mildly popular. He did get a big fat mention. Props to our man, David, the DFS chef, who mentioned him in our sleepers this week. Dude played well. I always loved CH3. I think I was just a little bit bitter a couple weeks back when I thought he was a great course fit in one of the 2 Texas courses. He let me down. So, it is what it is. But I start all these guys just because of the course history thing. The Gimmer, I mean, that's only 4 rounds, but you can see some guys down here with some real experience, like CH3. And rounds, David Hearn, but Sam Ryder, 12 rounds. He looked good this week. I love me some Sam Ryder. When he gets bounced back around, he missed a shitload of cuts. Let's take a look at him real quick. Look at this. Missed cuts for days, which he does. But this week, he did not miss the cut. I played him in showdown. He shot 4 under, 5 birdies, 1 bogey. Pretty damn good. I'm hoping he's got those irons back flowing again. Dude makes eagles for days. He'll be a super sleeper. So I'm marking him down on the early list. All righty then. That's going to do it for the preview show. Thank you for watching. Please, 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 I hate to get down on my hands and knees, please. Subscribe to the channel. Give a like. Tell your friends. Subscribe to the Billy Ho. I got a pinned tweet. Follow me on Twitter. BILLYAH40. Bill Ya 40. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my profile. I got a pinned tweet right there. It says hashtag subscribe now. Click that link, and all you got to do is say yes to Billy Ho. Sound like I'm running for office. Councilman Ho. Well, this is future Councilman Ho signing off till the Tuesday show. Peace.